All right, welcome back to Friday Draft League, everybody. Sorry about that. Some technical issues on our end, but you do what you can. These things happen. We are going to talk about the first game. I believe the stream cut out a little bit before the end of the game, but you guys can see the score right up there on the screen now. It's 1-0 for Carp. Carp, in the early game, honestly, it did seem like it was pretty even. Carp won that 2v2 up in the top lane, though,
Yeah.
giving themselves the first lead. And from there, just seemed like a bit of a tidal wave, grew and grew and
hmm
grew. The lead just kept going, and they never slowed down, they never stopped, and they took it all the way. So, really well done by them. Didn't seem like there were any cracks in the defense, really, for Noir to exploit. And I think some part of that has to do with their drafting. If you noticed, Garen a little bit into the game bought a hull breaker. I suppose he was looking to split. Um, and it's really hard to do once you fall behind, especially against a champion like Shen. Shen's just gonna sit there. He's not really gonna take damage, and he can join the team fight whenever he needs to with his ult and teleport back if he really has to cover the side lane. So it's really hard to split push and get with the hull breaker and everything when you don't have any pressure in the side lane, right? And on the other hand, Magikarpediem, it's a quite a long name. Their ADC is their strong player, and you could see they drafted really well around playing around that carry, right? So even though everyone on their team was strong, their lanes were all winning after a certain point. They had a clear idea in mind, right? They've got the ADC, the heavy AP in the mid lane, both all three of their, well, pretty much every champ other than the Aphelios can frontline pretty well.
Yeah.
The Shen, always good to join a team fight. The Shyvana, a really good frontliner, and Rakan has got the engage, but he can also peel fairly well. So their team comp works very cohesively together. It's a very nice, well-rounded comp. You look at Noir's comp, they sort of don't have the damage to do much once they fall behind, right? Especially against a heavy front line and a utility sort of champion like Rakan. You've got Nautilus and Lissandra as a mid jungle duo,
Yeah.
right? And Lissandra's building an Everfrost. Neither of those champions are really going to do damage. You've got to rely on your Xayah to deal damage. And, well, they didn't really play for their bot lane to get their bot lane ahead. He sort of fell behind, lost a couple turrets, behind a lot in gold. And because of that, you could see it in the team fights. They're just not able to get like any kills in any of these team fights. There's a lack of damage, and when you play with that one carry comp style, you've really got to play for it, right?
Yeah.
So instead of the Garen, you'd maybe have to pick a tank,
hmm
and instead of the Lissandra and the Nautilus in the jungle, both of those are more utility sort of team fight picks. You've got to pick something that's got a heavier damage profile. They're just
Yeah.
another threat, so that if your ADC doesn't die, you're not just out of
hmm
luck, right? So I think it's back to the draft pretty soon here, but I think Noir's got to go back to the drawing board and really consider what other picks they can bring into this game too. I don't think that they're going to be able to just pick something that doesn't have good synergy because Carp was able to make it look easy once they got
Yeah.
a decent lead going, right? They were winning the fights, they were taking objectives fairly well, and even when it seemed like people were getting caught, of course, you have the Channel to help bail them out. Plus, they were getting teleports to come in. The jungler was rotating in. They were working well together as a team. So if you're gonna make a pick, you've got to make it quick against this team. Otherwise, you're gonna get punished really hard. So yeah, I sort of monologued on for a while. But any thoughts on the draft for game two? Do you think Carp is gonna stay the same and Noir is gonna switch it up? I want to hear from Cinematic first and then Zydek on this draft.
I don't know if I'm going to actually see too much of a difference coming out from Noah. I mean, they had the setup, right? They have the setup with Lysandra, Nala, Seraphine, and then the damage with Zaya and Garen. The only problem was that they fell behind early. So the draft they had was, I think, perfectly fine. What they just need to do is execution better. And now that they've chosen Red side, we'll see how that interferes with their gameplay. Maybe they're going to try prioritizing the dragons a bit more. Maybe the jungler's going to go bot side a bit more. But in terms of draft, I don't think we're going to see too many changes.
Zydek, I want your opinion next. Come on,
Yeah.
don't bail out on me.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's maybe one or two things they could do, like as you said, picking more like damage oriented carry out the mid laner. If they want to like go towards something like it's Nautilus in the jungle again, but I think it's more as to how they play their composition. As we are back in draft, we're going to see Carp on the blue side and Noah on the red side flipped from last time. So Aatrox ban away, and here's the Aurelion Soul. See, I do like this adaptation in the in the ban phase here, because I think no matter who you try to take away, like how many AD carries you try to take away from this AD carry carp, they're always going to have something they're comfortable on, and this lane is always going to be dominant. So maybe they can let something through like the Vayne or the Twitch, who the AD carry carp is typically more comfortable on, but they as Vayne gets banned away there, but as the but generally has more counters than something like the Aphelios that can sit back and can scale more easily, more safely, and then have these big impacts, or that can also dominate in this lane. I wouldn't mind seeing something like the Aphelios first picked here, as I wonder where they're going to go towards here on the sides of on the side of Carp on the blue side here. If they want to stick to something similar to the draft they picked before, they could just blue side B1 something like the Shen or the Shyvana. One of these safer pickups. They will have to blind one of their lanes at least, or they can pick something with the flex potential again. Maybe surprise us with something different. If that's the Twitch band away.
I'm a big fan. If it isn't broke, don't change it. So yeah. I would assume that I would want to see something like a support pick here, just just because you know what you want to play bot side, and you want something that is going to have a defensive, but also has the potential to engage. I don't want to pick any mid or solo lanes here in jungle. I don't know, but I don't expect anything too crazy. Okay, that's a little bit more crazy.
That wasn't
just I guess over OP pick.
Yeah, it's been the flavor of the month. People have been really enjoying it with their AP build, the Static Shiv Kaiser there. But it's safe as well, has a lot of lane pairings. But I honestly wouldn't have minded that Rakan pick, because the AD carry on the side of Noah doesn't seem very confident on that Xayah, and it's almost forcing them into it. There's the Maokai there for the jungle. Just this safe pick, which Carp did ban away last time, this Maokai. It's that safe jungle pick. It's tanky, it goes in, it does its job there. But it's also the flex. There's the Seraphine, which I would expect to be in the support role again. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. It didn't have the impact you want to see Seraphine have in some of these team fights. The ultimates weren't as big as you wanted. Oh, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Seraphine into the Kaiser is definitely a bit better than the Aphelios, but you don't know if the Kaiser's going mid is the problem, so you could still be just getting counterpicked bots still.
Oh yeah, Kaiser has been
okay, if we see the Kindred come out, we'll already counterpick, because, Seraphine and Maokai ult on you there, just pop R and wait it out.
And this, Carp have been like, what is the most meta champions we can pick for each role, so they've picked Kaiser, Kindred, Rel here.
Yeah, it does feel like I'm almost watching an LCS game at this point.
Yeah, Maokai, Seraphine especially, it's been a bit of a classic. If this was an LCS game, you'd see someone like I don't know.
Yeah, definitely see a Jace pick here, but
MF.
Misfortune.
That's not typical.
Yeah, I'm already thinking this draft's pretty heavily in Carp's hands right now. You don't want an ult that can just get countered by someone else's ult, which is what we have with the Kindred. Rel can just jump on you and counter out all of you. I don't think MF's the pick here.
I think in isolation, especially in some of these draft leagues, Noah's draft is generally what you want to go for, but Kindred does just counter their whole combo, right? And Kindred
counters, you have the slow for Misfortune's E, and she just goes, okay, I'll just speed out of it.
Yeah, yeah. I just dashed out of it. There's the Malphite picked up. We do want to see a big carry counter picked on the side of Noir there. Um, for if they want to have any chance of winning this game, they need to be insanely far ahead. We want to see what the Aphelios did to the Zaya last game, but we want to see that on the top lane of Noir if they want to try salvage this draft. I would think something that can team fight, something that can brawl, maybe like a Irelia, Fiora, just like something around that area. Um,
I would love to
if they're
see an Ornn
comfortable
come
with it.
out here.
Yeah, I mean, Ornn on the side. I don't think Ornn on the side of Noir is too good. It fits to what their composition is trying to do, but as we said, their composition is kind of getting countered currently by one champion. So
You just
yeah,
need something to peel them off because the range
mhm,
that Carp has right now is insane. So you need something that can get
yeah,
onto them. That's what I mean. Even Cassandra could do that, but I don't feel like we're
mhm.
going to see Cassandra. Neither of these players seem to be playing them all that much. I guess we'll see if they pick the okay
It's
deal range with
Tristana picked
range.
up.
I guess that's you
We're,
could
we're we're back
counter
to
range with range.
we're back to being an LCS game apparently with Tristana pickup. Going to be going towards the mid lane. It's another big meta champion. It's another one of these champions which is sole purpose is to push in waves and like win mid lane. But Tristana has been criticized, definitely when she gets played in AD carry as well as mid lane, of being a bit of a nothing champion when you get later into the game currently. And there's a Nico picked up in response. That's wouldn't be a draft week if we didn't see Nico picked up with it. She's had her ups and downs, especially with the rework here. Um, but yeah, I think Nico um has the ability to um get that counter engage, especially if the rail goes in. The Nico had her biggest strength taken away from her with the oh, there's your
There's
own
the
pickup.
Ornn. Yes, that's what I wanted.
The Nico had a bigger strength taken away, but it's kind of counteracted by this Rel having the ability to keep everybody in one place, so then the Nico can come, knock everyone up, slam everyone down. And Ornn is picked up. What are they going to try to counter it with?
You need to go a split push. Yeah, you've lost the 5v5.
Yeah,
You need to play sideline, get that push going.
mhm.
Set
Oh,
can
there's
do
the
it. Yep, that's
set picks
okay.
up. Definitely.
That will win versus Ornn in isolation.
Yeah, I mean there is a bit of outplay potential with the with the brittle breath on the settles with the SETI there. But yeah, it's looking like a difficult game for Noah here. Um we did want them to pick probably a big AP threat, but they're going for the Maokai solo AP-ish, which is something we've seen quite often, especially in pro play. Maybe going for more of a first strike, demonic embrace, Leandri's kind of builds. But if they do that and then the set isn't coming to the team fights, then they're not really having a true tank, and Kai'Sa and Kindred are just gonna chew through them with this double marksman build. I think I'm really liking the side of Carp here. I think
Yeah.
if they have a similar showing, this Kai'Sa gets a lead over this MF Seraphine lane like they did on the Aphelios last game. It's looking rather scary for them. And we speak about how Noir have one objective when they're trying to have this 5v5 and it's all countered by the Kindred. Thing as well is that Carp have an insane 5v5 to follow up as well now with this Nico, with the non-committal engage of the Ornn, with the Vrel going and on top of that. So yeah, I think um Noah have to find something massive here. Their set has to try split push to victory, draw everyone away, and get so insanely far ahead that the compositional difference in the 5v5 doesn't really matter. Try and crack open these inhibitors as early as
Unless Noah
possible. So
unless Noah can get super far ahead, I
Mhm.
want to expect them just to a 1v1 the entire game. Put Set and Tristana
Yeah.
in those side lanes and just
Mhm.
wave clear with the Seraphine Misfortune mid because from the way
Yeah.
I'm looking at these drafts, I don't see them winning a 5v5 out of this. So
No,
play through
no,
those side lanes and
yeah.
split push to win.
Maybe even pick up the cursed static shiv on the Tristana just to make sure these waves are completely shoved in to make sure people always have something they need to go to here. Um, yeah, it's curious here.
Static shift demolished. Get those towers pushed and get to the Nexus.
Yeah, that's really they do just have to push the victory. They do have great oratory if set goes towards this demolish. They obviously have the Tristana there. she has the ability to use her E on the turrets, start to shred through those. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see how Noah tried to play around this. What this Maokai decides to do, because he doesn't really have a true lane to play for. I mean, he needs to keep his bot lane safe, and this set needs to get ahead. But I'm not sure how gankable this Ornn is. I mean, obviously, like Set will be Ornn in isolation, but until Set gets his Blade of the Ring King, I don't think Ornn is killable in this lane. Unless I'm mistaken, I'm not the best top lane main, so I'm not too to versed in the matchups. But yeah, I'd imagine until Set gets a Blade of the Ring King, Ornn is kind of unkillable here. So it's curious to see what this Maokai tries to do. It's they need to find leads in this game. They can't just let the mid lane matchup go equal. They can't let this bot lane get ahead again. And this set needs to really get far ahead. Not like the Garen in the last game. So yeah, as we are heading to break in a minute, I think. Do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I think I will be interested to see what lane the Maokai goes for, as you were saying. I hope I don't see them go to the bot side. I think the bot side is just simply, you know what, we kind of lose the 2v2 and maybe even the 2v3. So let's get my side laners ahead and get them in the side lanes as soon as possible. And that's their win condition.
Yeah, so I think on that we're going to go to the break, and we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes when the delay is up. And yeah, welcome to Summoner's Rift for game 2 here. It's Carp on the blue side, 1-0 up in this best of 3 series, so curious to see how they're doing. It's Maokai is going this first strike build, got a ward down just on that bot side, picking up that sweeper. So it is going to be this first strike AP build with the red jungle pet there that we saw definitely earlier in the year, like at the start of the year, like just after the Maokai buffs after Worlds. This build did really pick up, especially with this AD mid lane trying as solo AP Maokai. These saplings are really impactful.
What's
Tristana's Wing over a wall, not really finding anything there. Yeah, nothing too interesting. It is going to be this Maokai pathing up, and Kindred is going to path down toward that bot lane there. Kindred's got that stack on Maokai, so it does really want to try find them. Maybe going for a little bit of a invade or an early play, which we sometimes see from these Kindreds, but probably just expecting more of a safe full clear down into that bot lane, flip the crab 50-50. Yeah, not sure if there's really as an engage.
Oh, that's a very early engage onto the level 1, already forcing the Seraphine flash, and that's not a good start for an already losing lane. And that's already that's also the 3 melee. I guess they both lost the 3 melee minis.
I'm not quite sure about the XP there, as this is what we generally see Tristanas do, especially in these early lanes. They do like to W in with the Halo blades, get the bomb proc off, and then that's just like a lot of damage and force them out and get that CS advantage. So Tristana is doing their job well, as there's just going to be trading on the top lane, as On is kind of coming uphill from these trades, which is not what we expected at all. Kindred is gonna try come down. If this bot crab is marked, it's gonna be completely free for her. With the amount of pressure generated from the bot lane now. With the flash forced out, maybe she can even look to try find an angle into this bot lane, get an early kill onto the Kaiser. But yeah, this MF and Seraphine lane, it's just gonna be so hard. They have nothing stopping the Rel from just jumping on them. They have no pressure. They lose early. Feels like they lose mid. They lose late as well. So it's just going to be difficult. As we've seen all this pressure, they're moving up. Rel is just going to flash on Tristana. Misses though.
Oh, just going very early, but you notice he has this jump trying to get on her, but everything else misses as Tristana flashes away to safety under her tower. That was very aggressive and a very early round from the bot side.
Yeah. We just saw this is just like an example of how much pressure they have before the crab spawns. They've managed to round their bot line up.
And the mark is on the Kindred side.
That's
Won the 50-50.
Yeah, it's unlucky for her. Maokai is gonna look maybe for this top gank. It's warded though. I'm not sure much is gonna happen. Just
it has the dash away. I mean,
yeah, I'm just gonna
you're not gonna get on them.
No, I'm gonna take that top crab there. Gonna be
not a great start for. Not a great start for them. And now, can they get on? No, Seraphine manages to move away nicely. Actually get some damage onto the Kindred as well. There's been a lot more early trading on this game than there was the last game. People being a lot more aggressive.
Oh, more. Felt slower, definitely. Maybe they're just feeling more comfortable in this situation here. But
4 minutes in, all lanes have been ganked.
Kindred is just looking for to try abuse that flash from the Seraphine, but Seraphine does play respectful of the fact that they don't have their flash ability up, and it's just gonna manage to walk out, get the trade onto the Kindred, and Kindred is gonna get a nice early base. That is quite a big recall, however, for the Maokai. On that 28 CS, gonna be able to pick up that blasting wand, which does help when you're trying to get through some of these camps, helps increase the clear speed, which can be a bit slow, especially on these single target camps as a Maokai. So that's a good early base compared to the longsword dagger there for the Kindred. As there's going to be recalls in almost every lane, picking up the early items. As we can see the Kershi shard and the longsword compared to the double longsword, with that 10 CS lead almost garnered there for the Kaiser. So yeah, well played by her to garner this lead again. And if they don't do something to try stop this, it could just get out of control like it did in the previous game. But if the MF and the Seraphine can nullify this damage and stop the bleed, then that would be good as Set and Ornn are just trading there on the top side.
Yeah, I almost wish I'd seen Ignite come out from the set, because you know he just want to stay in the start lane.
Nah, it's just gonna be W.
That's the advantage, but no, managed to get out. No flash burn though, so at least still has that up, and we'll be able to collect all the CS as they just stake the dragon on the bot side. Where's this Maokai gone to? Not able there to contest at all on the top side of the map. One manages to recall, so just a free dragon.
Yeah, this is kind of feeling like a mirror, like a repeat of the last game where Carp just feel like they're winning in all the lanes. Apart from this mid lane is a bit far behind. It feels like
it does have the TP though.
Yeah, it does have the TP to come catch that way again. I should say winning. I should say more probably out trading, to be more precise, because there are CS leads in the top and the mid lane there for the side of Noah. So there are little advantages there as runners coming in. They don't have an exact cooldown on Seraphine flash.
I don't think they saw her.
No, I think this Kindred is unspotted there.
They are playing very respectful though, but they do manage to get level up just to level 5, and they manage to speed away, not in range. As the advantage, I guess, of Seraphine Misfortune, they are very fast, even if they don't have mobility.
Yeah, I think Kindred just not really respecting how much damage this Kaiser can have. I feel like if Kindred was there, especially with the flash,
that's going for the solo kill, doesn't get him back in.
Yeah, Ornn is he's quite a slippy boy, really, isn't he?
If they got him low, Maokai was up there. They might have been gone for a dive, but I don't think enough health has been done onto him.
And now this Kindred just has free range over the jungle. I think Maokai was spotted, or at least they had a guess as to where Maokai was, but Kindred's going to be spotted on this invade. Tristana's going to rock a jump.
Oh yeah, Tristana coming in. Kindred does not have all yet. I think that's enough to kill. Oh, that was like 19 health. So close.
Yeah, Kindred may be playing for one camp too much, and that's not going to be the mark picked up for the Kindred, which is unfortunate. Mark is going to be there, but not going to be able to be grabbed by Kindred. So unfortunate there, but yeah, lucky to escape with the life. It's unfortunate for both teams, really.
It's good for the red team. I mean, they managed to survive decently, and they have 2 winning lanes. Set also trading again on this Ornn. Still no kill yet.
Yep.
But, you know, this could have been a lot worse with the pressure that's been happening onto the solo laners of this blue team. I mean,
yeah,
Jet is pretty good.
I think that they're doing well to avoid these Maokai ganks. Maokai's not really been as potent as he wants to in these lanes, so I think that's good, and they're not really getting the massive amounts of early pressure. I mean, they are getting early pressure with around a 15 CS lead in the mid lane and a 10 CS lead in the top lane there, roughly. But it's just, they need these lanes to be incredibly far ahead. As we said, the team fights for red team on the side of Noir here are incredibly difficult. They are, with this Tristana falling off, with this set falling off, and with the Kindred to counter the MF Seraphine Maokai combination. They need
Bella's
these
coming
lanes
up
to
with
be
the Kindred now onto the set.
Bell has flashback up, but it's going to be on vision, just to be respected.
Rift Herald is also up though. Maybe they're going to turn to try to do that.
Yeah.
Seraphine is still bot side, so they do have the man advantage. Not going to start it up.
Kindred isn't looking to pick up this mark, preferring the Rift Herald here.
Tristana is very low, forced to back, so red team is going to lose both objectives very early on to this game. Yeah, despite having 2 winning solo lanes.
That's some good trading there by the Nico there, and it's just this Kindred has just been quicker to the punch. Although she has been dropping camps here and there for it, she's been dropping her blue side, and her red side is currently being invaded by the Maokai to make these plays and being this proactive on the map. So there is leads there gathered by the Maokai in terms in trade of these objectives. Sorry. But it's just the question of is it enough? Is this
coming in from behind? I think she's going to be fine. She has cleanse and flash. There's the cleanse and the flash, but Maokai comes in, roots her, gets out of that NL ult with her ult, like we thought would happen. And despite having to blow everything, she does live.
Yeah, she lives there, but that is going to be good. It's just the it's the Maokai and the Misfortune ult. Although Dragon is up in around 30 seconds, so with the Maokai and Misfortune ult blown, that's going to make the Dragon a lot harder. So if they're just giving it, they can they don't really have the ability to stop this the second dragon to come through, this mountain dragon, and to stop the scaling coming through from these dragons. They're gonna walk up.
Maybe the biggest team titles are gone.
Maybe they're looking for this fight. Brow's just gonna walk up, get vision, use the crash down to get out.
And there's the Rift Herald being used on the bot side, using into the one push lane. Going to get a lot of gold onto this Kai'Sa. Has Ornn looking to kill Set. Set has to burn flash. That's not ideal.
Yeah, this Ornn has been performing quite incredibly well. It's been I think it's.
We see the downside. We see the downside of the full AD team. Of he has the I lost the name of it. He has the Warden's Mail and the Thimble Vest, whatever it's called.
Thimble Vest, yeah.
Thimble Vest, that's the word. He's going to build full AD, right? He's not going to care about the AP Maokai. He's just going to build full tick, and at the end, no one's going to be able to touch him. Even the set, if he wants to play the side lanes, he's just going to have to do the turrets. So just trying to get jumped on again. Flash knocks the rail out of her knockout. Really nice timing. And manages to get away.
Great buster shot there from the Tristana to keep the runaway not unstoppable in that animation. There, so it managed to be cancelled. Tristana can stay alive. As they are going to move over to this Kindred mark so just hop over to see how many marks Tim's done. I believe this is her second, but
I think it's just the second one, yeah.
yeah, it is her second mark there. Yeah, it's obviously 4, which is that major power spike. But to get this mark, they are giving up priority. They're giving up pressure over this dragon as Tristana's gonna
Tristana trying to plant out the Rel. I think that's the wrong person to try to do damage on. Has to jump away forced by the Kindred. Maokai trying to get the dragon down. It's going to be secured at least. The Seraphine ult goes wide, not catching onto anyone. It's now, I think both teams are trying to play a little bit of chicken. Health bars are low, but blue team is the one with the lower health bars. Nico does go down for first blood onto the Tristana, and that's a pretty big win.
Yeah, that's massive. It's really massive there for the side of Noah. They on the side of Comp, they didn't manage to make the play toward this dragon before the ultimates came up, and if they're trying to stagger into a team fight there, they don't really have the ability to do so with this Maokai and this Misfortune ult up. So although the Kindred does have ults up there, not really a lot they could do, because even if the Kindred did pop out, they would still be all chunked down to very low HP, and they'd all be contained in that one zone where it could all be made one shot, and Tristana and Misfortune could clean up those kills afterwards. So yeah, it's just a well executed fight, and slightly mistimed there from the side of Carp. They're trying to do just a little too much of this trading here in the top lane.
Yeah, it's a little bit dangerous. He does have the finished blade of the Rune King, so he does hurt. 3 component items done for the on. I love the build of going components of 3 separate items. It's just hilarious to me.
Yeah, it's definitely very unfunny, and it's can be helpful in the short. Build slightly make him slightly less tanky, but I believe he just they're all armor items, and they will just help stop trying to nullify this Tristana, this Misfortune. And
He keeps managing to bramble the knock. That's really good timing.
Mm-hmm.
A static is done on the Kai'Sa, so the bot wave is going to be pushed in 24/7.
Yep.
Unless, nope, not going to get any knock there. That's the good thing with Nico, is that even Tristana jumps and you get those few seconds invisibility, which could be all the timing you need not to stack a reset up. Oh, aggressive onto the Maokai. Kindred's trying to get an invade, but Maokai secures the camp, and Tristana is now here to help. Maokai goes down, is going to root both of them as Tristana jumps in. Kindred ult is going to come. No, Kindred ult doesn't come out. Instead, just gets knocked up and dies. As now they transition onto the Nico, and I think that's going to be a clean kill with no man on the Nico. Another 2 kills going over to Tristana. She is getting fed.
Yeah, this Kindred really needs to start pressing this ult key, huh? Just it's just slightly unfortunate. Never really had the never really getting this invulnerability out, and yeah, it's just really struggling. And now that's every kill in the game over to this Tristana. Kraken Slayer now picks up, going to be working towards that in very quick blades, I would expect. That second item. And I did say that Tristana is not seen as one of the biggest carry threats in the game, but now she does have the ability to carry these games, and she will have the ability to chew through some of these squishier members and even some of the tanky members there if she picks up the Kraken Slayer, the LDR, and items like this. So yeah, it's they need to start now moving this lead and moving, as you said in the pre-game, into something like a 1v1. They need to use this Tristana to start chunking down some of these side lanes. Now this mid-tier one has been broken, as we are saying that they are picking up the Herald here. As I think
they are going down. Nico and Kindred are going down to the bot side. A dive is going to happen here. They are going to force this. That tower's almost dead. Oh, both flashes coming out very quickly. Not able to get on. Wow. I mean, to credit, Misfortune and Seraphine under a lot of pressure, but they keep managing to get out of it with their lives. So
yeah, but no, that's a good flash forward from Rao. Obviously with the Hex Flash, the using the flash in the row, it's sad, but it's not ultimately very punishing. With her Hex Flash, she still has the ability to use that flash to go forward and engage, and I believe that's Kindred picking up their 3rd mark as well, as this set has used this Herald to get a big influx of gold and get that crash down onto the tier 2, so yeah. All really well done. But yeah, the rail flashes forward, takes both the flashes off the bot lane, and before the dragon, this now allows them to use all their ultimates and all their summoner spells to try get on top of these carries of
Oh,
So I don't know why
gonna
is
get caught out here. Stunned up, booted up, but no follow up.
Yeah, this
Kindred's
Maokai,
still in base, not there.
yeah, she's running out as quickly as she can. This Maokai is still very tanky despite going towards this the demonic embrace and the giant spell. Kindred is gonna try push out this mid. Actually, no, Kindred's gonna go towards the Raptors. They're just decided maybe that they're giving up this second Drake and that they're gonna win later on in the fight as they've scaled up a bit more. And I think that's maybe a smart decision before you get the items on the fighter and you get your second item on Kindred. So
It is just a Cloud Drake. It's not going to be the end of the world giving it up. It just means you're 5 minutes away from the swap, potentially. Minutes with scaling comp, and not that they have more aggressive mid game comp, they're falling behind. It's the opposite way around than it should have been.
yeah, yeah, but it is just they need to find a way to get this kill onto this Tristan. This Kaiser is still farming incredibly well, not as well as they were farming in the last game. But this Tristana is looking a bit just like a bunny bag as she jumps in actually.
Oh
But
my
now
goodness, that was
doesn't have the
completely
ability to
blown
do
up way too far forward. Trying to get the re-engage on with the Nico, manages to blow up the Tristano. The one Fed member's dead. Kindred now popping the ult, but Nico's already dead, too far out of it, and I think Kindred's going to be the follow, trying to flash out, and actually does manage to get away, but that's a bad trade with only three going off for the blue team and only one dying from the red.
Yeah, it is the answer picked up, but it doesn't have it on. But also, I think you'd probably prefer to have it on the Kaiser as she is picking up her second item.
Maokai looking to get the solo kill, but instead the CC comes out, managing not to get that ult off. Instead, it's going to get turned around. The AP Maokai trying to damage the full armor on, but you know Maokai still being forced to kind of run away from that.
Yeah, Maokai running away here. They had to burn the Seraphine out there as well as this Herald is coming. Oh wait, this is the Baron coming up. Sorry. Are they at 20 minutes? Both teams are like leaning towards this top side, and with a double
There's
marksman
no way they
combo,
can do it.
Baron I mean, it's with the double marksman. It's not like the most implausible thing they've ever heard of, but someone is gonna have to probably TP down match this just on
Maybe more so. If Maokai goes down here, that would be a lot better, and gets sniped by the Kaiser. That puts Baron on the table for sure. As now they might be trying to position it, but instead of just going to steal the red for now, maybe look for another pick, as Tristana is pushing in the bot lane though, does have TP.
Yeah, I'd like to see someone maybe TP down there to match, or no, they're just gonna start this hold up. I'm not sure how strong Set feels he is or how strong he actually is, but it's just gonna.
It looks like they're just going to give it up.
Yeah, it looks like they are just gonna give up this Baron.
You don't have your jungler, but you're just going to give over a free Baron pre-21 minutes. I mean, I guess so. If Nico TP's down to the bot lane to stop this Tristana push, that's just, you know, that's a huge gold swing that they needed. Oh, Set looking to go in, just stopping the backs though. Doesn't want to fight that 1v3. Don't think you win that.
Yep. Almost all the carries in the game, or all the marksmen at least, picking up their second item apart from the Kindred. It's going to be the Shiv Nash's Tooth compared to the Yomu's Collector, which I've openly not been the biggest fan of this Yomu's on this Misfortune. I can see the idea behind it, but I don't think it's her best item. I think she probably even prefers something like the Dustblade, the invulnerability around the team fights. But I get the idea of stacking move speed and the lethality it provides with the ultimate, because normally the ultimate is going to be the first time you're hitting something, so it's going to be you're going to be getting that bonus lethality. But yeah, I think still the side of Carper in a decent position. They are behind here, but with them having gold on their Kaiser being almost equal or even ahead of this Misfortune now, yeah, about 600 gold ahead. They are in a position where they still can fight these fights and they still can win these fights, even if they are a bit behind. And as we said, Set is just splitting. He's just causing a bit of a nuisance in this top lane, making Ornn respond. But they do both have TP up if they do decide to posture towards this Drake. Most ultimates are up, but some of the spells are somewhat lacking. There's almost there's no flashes on any of the carries of the side of Carp, and there's compared to the flashes on the MF Seraphine there of Noir, but
Oh, Maokai looking to get caught out again. This is exactly how they got the Baron last time.
yeah, they do need to be careful how they're positioning around this objective, how they try to face check in with 15 seconds until it spawns.
I mean, do you even want to fight this dragon? It's just another Cloud Dragon. It would only be the second of the game. They have Baron. It might not be the best time to fight.
No, I don't think
And
they...
we were talking beforehand. They should never be looking to 5v5, even with the gold lead right now.
Yeah.
They still don't think they win the 5v5.
Good posture towards it, but
Cupid's backing though. Oh no, she stopped.
yeah, Kai'Sa
Okay,
Nika mowing down. It's 4v5 now. Set's gonna
Oh.
TP into the pit.
Alright, well, instead of splitting the splits, let's just force a dragon, and I guess they do get on soul point, and with the Maokai ult, they just kind of get out scot-free, and that was, way better than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, I think Carp feel further behind than perhaps they are. They feel scared of this Tristana, this set seeping into the pit. But I don't think they should ever really be giving the position for the set to be in the pit. With this Kindred, with this Kai'Sa.
Oh, trade going on the Kindred
And the
Tristana.
Ra.
Did not cut off the Kindred at all, so she gets out scot-free. And this is a very weird macro that's going on. I feel like the sides are getting completely abandoned, both by the team with the Baron buff and by the people that should be playing the side lanes.
Yeah, I think it is strange. I also don't think around that dragon fight, Carp should ever be giving up their position there. I feel like it's almost impossible for them to for the side of Noah to face check into the Kai'Sa, the Nico, the Rel, the Kindred there, especially as the champions they have. If Maokai walks up and tries to face check a brush, we saw it in the top side around that Baron, he just gets completely one shot. So yeah, I think it's a really weird decision there, especially when we feel like they have the better 5v5. But side lanes are now starting to be picked up. They're starting to be responded to. But that just felt like a really weird section of gameplay there. But I think everything is returning towards normality. With Baron buffs running out, they're just going to catch these sideways as everyone is moving towards
Go on to the top side. That one
Um,
is isolated, but the whole team is nearby around.
Yeah, On just needs to
Are they
try to
gonna
land
try to
down
turn?
the
But Kindred hops over. Now Set's isolated. Set's going in! He's just like, no, I want to fight! He's going in 1v2 versus the Kindred is trying to get onto him. They're just cutting him out though. And Kindred flashes in. Set flashes away as the fight's also going on the top rivers. The NFL comes down as the set's finished off. That's 1-for-1 so far, but the fight still continues on. It is chaos as 2 kills go over to the Neff. And at the end of the day, that was a very messy and split fight, but it does go in favor of Noah.
Yeah, it's going to be the bounty picked up towards the Kindred so they can get closer to this Wit's End. But yeah, it is going to be the kill advantage over towards Noah. They're going to be able to start moving in there. Even maybe try press this turret with this next wave coming in, this tier 2 on the bot side. There is a big turret advantage on the side of
Oh, one stepping up. Oh, it gets jumped on. He's not going to have enough damage, so he does get the reset on this jump, doesn't he? He should have his jump back up. There it is, and manages to get away. Kindred is going to chase down, though. Tristana does not have her ult available, and gets the slow. Oh, no, she does have her ult available. I read that wrong. Okay, does to get out. No more gold for the Kindred.
Wit's End is picked up though. They base came back out on the map to make that play there.
Wait, why would they go Wit's End? There's a 1
it-
AP. I guess you have Leandri's on the Seraphine, but
Yeah,
still
I
not the ones
think
doing the
I
major
think
damage.
Wit's End is just because the other item is Black Cleaver, but they also don't have many armor builders until later into the game. So I think Wit's End is just like the best in slot. It's just the best item you can pick up, even if they don't have that much MR, just because of the attack speed it grants, and that's just what Kindred wants to do. She wants to be a bit of a bit more of a bruisery attack speed building.
I almost wouldn't mind. It might sound troll, but I almost wouldn't mind a GA second here.
Yeah, I mean,
You just want to delay them from killing you. You still have the better 5v5, so if you can just delay them, if they focus on you, then that still gives time for your Kai'Sa and Nico to get in there.
yeah, there's gonna be TPN here. I think they're scared that they were doing Baron, but
Oh, Ornat does come out. forcing a fight, flashes in, gets a huge knockup. Seraphine also trying to cancel out, but she does go down. 1 for 1, 2, oh, 2 for 2. Wait, no, it's completely getting annihilated as the bot laners are going down on both sides. Huge Set combo, trying to get them all damaged. Heartbreaker managed to get them completely destroyed. Set is staying untargeted, going back onto the Kindred, cutting out though, and Rel is trying to do the best to peel for her carry. Kindred manages to come out, and all these health bars are getting low, but no one will die until the thing is out. Huge all knockup, knocking up the 2 members as health bars are just getting lower and lower. One more Q for the Maokai would finish off all 3 of them. Oh, and it gets completely annihilated as the AP Maokai's damage reigns supreme and manages to win this heck of a team fight.
Yeah, that demonic embrace it is coming in clutch there. Sorry. Upgrade making that Q damage be a lot stronger there. And yeah, I think honestly, like one of the problems is this Kindred is not ulting early enough, not ulting to protect their primary carries and just ulting to protect themselves. So I think that's slight misplays there. They almost got away with it. They almost got away with the murder they were trying to commit there. But it was a miracle play from that set to turn around that fight. And this is going to be, unless a miracle Kai'Sa still comes through, the Cloud Soul secured by the side of Noir.
I think the Kai'Sa was just playing a little bit too melee, getting hyped with her own knockups. And yeah, because of that fight and because of how extended it went, Kindred is just not up in time for the dragon, and it's just a free soul point. And it's Cloud Soul, so you know it doesn't really benefit the misfortune or anything like that, but you know, a soul's a soul. Little dragon
is really fed. There's 2.5 items on both the AD carries on the side of Noir here, as we are going to posture around the dragon again. Set is in bot side, does have that TP up, so if these Kai'Sa W's are landing, which they're not currently.
We were thinking that they were not supposed to ever do a 5v5. Oh, there's the Tristana ult forced out. One less. And Maokai's getting chased off as well. This feels very reminiscent of the last Baron.
We were, yeah, it was the miracle play there from the set that did salvage that 5v5. As you mentioned during the fight, it did look like there was a slaughter on the side of Carp here, but the set did manage to come through, W everyone. Then the Maokai managed to kill everyone on the backside of the fight. So,
get caught out. No ult for the Tristana.
I think Kai'Sa wins this.
Oh, it's just a 1v1 as they just trade in the end. That was a very unique 1v1 there. If Tristana hadn't been forced to use that ult, she definitely would have won that. But instead, it'll just be a trade of AD carries.
Yeah, as Kai'Sa does manage to pick up that. No, Kindred managed to pick up.
Seraphine now getting caught. Just completely gets destroyed before the Nico can even come out. Kindred now forced to use the ult, flashing back into it with the 1 HP. And Orin manages to peel her, stunning up all the carries so that no one can get to the Kindred, but the NF comes out, finishing her off. And now Nico is very low on mana, but MF splashes away on 1 HP as the just bruiser tank and damage that Maokai and Set can put out means no one can kill them and burns the rail down for a really good fight.
Yeah, it's here,
Nico,
honestly,
get out of there. Oh, yo, that's not, you're sitting on a wood. Get out of it.
It was all that trade of that trade of AD carries there in the earlier fight. It meant that they didn't have their true AD carry. Well, I say true AD carry. They are building the better tree carries. Nico pops a stopwatch here.
Oh. 5-star over is still scrappy as also Set's TPing in. It's another huge fight coming out as Kai'Sa is just not getting a break this game. Going down again, and they're going to go to turn onto the Baron with Kindred only just coming up. Free Baron.
Yeah, there was a time where Kai'Sa was had very limited deaths this game. They were farming up quite well, but now they've just died like pretty much 5 times in a row. Just in these team fights, just ulting into the back line, getting too excited there. And when this Kai'Sa dies, the fight pretty much feels over on the side of Noir. Although because as we saw in the last fight, it says trading. Don't expect Kindred to just.
Oh, flash from the Maokai. Really want to chase this Kindred down. I hope maybe they're trying to get something even more out of it. I assume they will be able to catch it. Nico is just, not going to be able to help in any way. Dragon won't be up for another 2.5 minutes, but maybe that's going to help them get an inhib if they push down the lane fast enough.
Yeah, Nico's just going to Yeah, they're just gonna flash for the Kindred there, but I'm not sure how utterly worth it that is. Kindred's not gonna burn Flash, he's not gonna burn her Lamb's Respite, and we are all looking towards this next big objective, 2 minutes time, which this kill does not really impact much towards, so I'm not sure if waiting the Flash was quite worth it there, with this Elder Dragon spawning in 2 minutes. And yeah, they all need to get as strong as possible for this Elder. 3 items on most of the carries now. On most of the champions in the game, sorry, aside from these supports and that Nico in the mid lane. They're going to be looking towards this dragon, and this is going to be a very difficult one because, as I said, it was very hard for Carp to phase check into Noah. It's also going to be very hard for Noah to phase check into Carp here. So Setch is going to be split pushing away in this top lane as well. They do have the Nico teleport to respond. As it's a minute and a half, getting closer and closer now. All still trying to get as strong as possible.
I think Set almost has his Hullbreaker, just one more wave or two, and he's just going to be an absolute beast in the side lane. Maybe, actually, yeah, he's just going to be gutted now. And once he gets it, I mean, who's going to match him? The Kindred? Well, you need to be there for the fight. The Kai'Sa? You need to be there for the fight. Nico, I'll just ignore you. On, what, you might tickle me a tiny bit, but... Oh, wait, he didn't go Hullbreaker, he went Status Gauge. Okay, maybe he's looking to 5v5.
Yeah, I mean, I think they need to, because if the Set is the only person who's really winning these fights, so they need to look. I think they do need the Set around here for the Elder Dragon, otherwise they're just going to kill over and lose it all. I don't think the Set really has the ability with the Nico TP and Pop Blossom to clear the wave, so I don't think there's going to be a sneaky backdoor angle there for the Set as he moves down towards the Elder Dragon.
Set has Flame Horizon, his opponent, he is monstrously ahead in items. Nico doesn't even have a third item yet. Very far behind now. I mean, even though we think that that Carp has the better teamfight comp, the amount of gold they're behind in items, they might just get outstatted.
They might do indeed, as this Kai'Sa's gone to respond to the mid-wave 10 seconds up till this dragon. She needs to start getting some of this poke out.
I think you should just send Tristana to the mid wave, get that push in, don't let anything happen. I mean, you don't have to force the 50-50 Elder Dragon flip. Kindred can get in from the backside, so you either have to force a fight, get your lanes pushed in, or you're not going to do anything with this posturing. Okay, they do set it up. Kai'Sa is in the back, everyone else is on the left flank. Okay, huge fight breaking out now. Oh, that's a big combo. Kai'Sa's in the back, completely split up. They don't know who to focus. Flash Haymaker from the side, managed to take out the... Oh, huge Haymaker! Bring them all in. Bring in the low health bars as Misfortune now runs in, trying to do the damage. It's almost a penta for the Set. Just one more down. But instead he goes down. And Maokai's, I think, just going to clean up this fight. This is almost reminiscent of 5v4 with the end Maokai coming out on top as the sole survivor.
Yeah, Maokai's going to be able to take this Elder Dragon. And I think if he was smart, he would delay it so he can... gift it to the rest of the team, but I'm not sure how long
he's not going to take it very fast. It's going to take him a few 30 seconds at least to bring this dragon. No, maybe not. It's gone actually really quickly.
Yeah, with the Demonic Embrace he does, and the Sunfire Aegis, he does drop through this rather quickly. Can't delay too long now.
15 seconds on the MF, 20 on the Set. I think he can delay it long enough.
So yeah, it's going to be an unfortunate team fight, and as you said...
Oh, okay.
I think, yeah, Set.
Or is that Tristana?
It's Tristana to just finish this up. They need to find a way on the side of Carp because they showed that they have the ability to win these fights, but it's just this Set which they're really having problems with. And as I said, I really feel like it's this Lamb's Respite coming out just too late, and not actually blocking any of the, not actually stopping anyone from dying. This Tristan's gonna ult over. Is that gonna be a kill? No, it won't. Will it?
It will burn down. Oh, okay,
yeah,
good. It's come out. Oh, okay. Forces the flash off from the Kindred and the ult. I don't mean, actually, yeah, she won't have ult for a Baron, but maybe they just have to leave this. I don't think they can.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a lot of contesting to be done on this Baron. We will have to see that.
Wasn't it your bingo card that Maokai would be the first one to get to full build this game? That was something I would not have predicted.
They're looking
Maokai
to.
got to full build. Set's got to full build.
Yeah, the top side is just incredibly strong, incredibly bruisery, and they're just gonna manage to shred this turret. Then I think they're gonna probably just like look to march down one of these lanes and just end the game with the amount of turret shred they have on this MF on this Tristana.
Elder is almost run out though, so they have to go fast. They might actually only be able to get inhib with the Elder up. I don't think it'll last to the Nexus towers.
Around 10 seconds left on that Elder Dragon. Kaiser's trying her best to clear these waves.
She does have the poke.
It's gonna be Elder.
Oh, that sound gets melted, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And Set splitting in the mid. 2 towers gone, 1 inhib's gone. Now they're just going to move on to the mid inhib as well. No huge wave, except one's coming in from mid now. That Elder Drake must be gone soon, and they're just going to back off.
Yeah, just gonna.
A little bit of miscommunication. Some are staying, some are leaving. Okay, now we're leaving. Going to the bot side, pushing that in with the Baron. Why not? Lots of time.
Pick up this triple inhibitor. There's just gonna play this extra safe, make sure they can end the game because, as we said, they're still. Oof, that would have been close. That would have done a lot of damage there. We're just gonna back off. Help are getting a little too long. That Seraphine don't want any angle for them to turn the fight here.
So they could have used the redemption and stayed around maybe, but decided no need to risk it at all. We can still back and have some Baron left. So eye up. Get the GA on the Misfortune. Only really big item Vic's picked up here.
Just gonna want to build towards that last item. There's still 2.5 till the Elder. Maybe they're gonna fight before that. I'm not really too sure. They're just gonna secure these dragons here. No, these waves. Sorry.
How many marks does the Kindred have now? So that's 8 marks.
8 mark. So she's got a second stack of brain. She's starting to get up there. She is scaling, and at this point, she will start to chop through this Maokai, I believe, with this Black Cleaver, with the marks coming up, with the true damage she has on her W as well. But it's just I'm not really sure she's gonna get the opportunity to with this Set diving on the back line. We'll just have to see. Set's pushing in this top wave split, pushing as we wanted to see. They're doing a bit of a 1-4. Making sure someone has to respond to the Set as they are.
Oh, Nico's trying to go in though. Tristana manages to buffer jump away as Misfortune's getting completely chunked out. Maokai comes to him to root them up, peel for his carries. Kindred ult does manage to come out early this time, but instead gets taken down outside of her ult as Set is just... No one can really touch him at this point. He's just a huge factor to pick up the Kai'Sa, and I think she's just going to be dead from that Zhonya's. And well, there she goes. It's almost a clean ace. Owen might be a little bit too tanky to take down. He flashes to the safety of his turret, and that's just a complete annihilation by Noah to take us to a game 3.
Yeah, that's going to be 1-1 there between Noah and Carp there. So yeah, it was a tough game, and against what we expected there on the side of from Carp. Any thoughts?
I've heard someone's camera isn't working. Hold on. Whose camera isn't working?
Mine. I'm just
It's
trying my
yours?
best to get it sorted.
Some technical issues today. But yeah, nice game. Lasted 40 minutes long, of a much longer game than the first one. And No are able to pull it off, getting themselves a huge gold lead. 10K for a while, 15, about 15, 16, 16, 17? Oh, they had a massive goal lead at the end of the game. That's what I'm trying to say. Massive goal lead. But even throughout all that, we saw throughout the entire game, Carp was able to keep up with them in a lot of these team fights. A lot of these team fights very, very close, even with Noir being so far ahead. And a lot of that has to do with just with their comp synergies. The big wombo combo of the Ornn, the Nico, and the Rel together, just able to create this massive area where they can just crowd around and jump down their throats and deal a massive amount of AoE damage. The only thing I have to say about that is I think that they should have been the ones pulling the trigger this game. It
Yeah.
seemed like in a lot of these fights they were waiting for the other team to make a mistake or something. You've got to pick a point in a fight and just say somebody's got to be the shot caller and say, "Look, I'm going to go in with my ult and I need you guys to follow up."
Hmm.
And most often that's going to have to be either the Ornn or the Rel. The Ornn ult can be a really good engage tool, especially from far away. You just say, "Hey, I'm Ornalting Rel, run at them real quick, and my ult's gonna slow them and stop them from getting away." Or the other option is if you see them all clumped up and you're playing Rel, you just flash in and you ult on top of everyone, and that'll keep them all clustered together for your Ornn and Nico to follow up. I didn't see enough of that early in the game. I
Yeah.
saw last couple of team fights when the game was getting later and later. I saw it come together and it worked really nicely.
Mm.
But at that point, it was too little, too late. They were just too far behind at that point. And even then, the fights were very close. If they grouped up together a lot sooner
Hmm.
and made their combos happen, if they were making snap choices, right?
Yeah.
Just pulling the trigger faster, especially around those objectives. We saw, I don't know if it was around 20 minutes or so, we saw both teams positioning, jockeying for, I think it was a second or third Drake, and they just sort of gave it away. You can't be doing that with a team comp like this. You've got all the tools you need to engage in a clustered fight around the pit like that. You should be taking that fight every time before things get out of hand. And really, the first kill at 10 minutes, it was pretty impressive. I was
Mm.
impressed by neither team dying very much
Yeah.
very early. But what happened was no R. They picked these carries, they picked these heavy carries and said, "Look, we're just going to try to out carry you." And this time, this game, it really worked out for them really well. Um, I thought that with their team comp, they were not going to be able to get much done. They had a very heavy AD focused comp, but Maokai was able to still get himself a lot of kills and assists. And with that demonic embrace, he's putting out enough AP damage that he
Hmm.
that he's making a big difference in these fights. So now the score's tied up 1-1, and it could be anyone's game. Carb definitely had the more decisive game in game one. They were able
Yeah.
to close that out a lot quicker. But no R managed to pull this one off after a long time. I think that if Noir can do the same thing and pick some carries and just try to out carry the other
Yeah.
team, that they'll be able to make the comeback and win in this
Hmm.
game three. Meanwhile, I think Carp on the other side, they've got a pretty good strategy. They've got good mixed damage and good front line in both of these games. They've got a nice sort of front to back comp going on there in their drafts, it looks like. But they need to know when to make the decision. They need to know when to say enough is enough and make that choice and jump into the enemy team and get the fight started, because they just waited around too long. And once the enemy team is ahead like 5,000 gold, it's going to be harder and harder to get that nice engage going.
Yeah. Yeah. I think an important thing is
Mhm.
um Noah's drafts. Still, I didn't really enjoy it. I think it was kind of a extraneous situation where this Tristana got 3 kills and she got this massive lead, which you can't
Mhm.
confirm happens every game. So I think they do still need to like if they want to do something similar to what they did in this game, they need to pick something more safe, more reliable. The Syndra Oriana got banned out, but I want something in that realm. Maybe the third one that would instantly pop to mind is the Victor. I'm not sure if this mid laner can um pilot the Victor incredibly well. But I think something like that needs to be picked up. But yeah, I think it was better, but it did feel like I'm not sure if you guys got this vibe as well. It was always this set bailing them out in fights. It was fights that Carp should be winning, but then this set found a massive haymaker somewhere. Um, just with all the grit and managed to turn the fight around almost every single time. And I don't think you can confirm that happening every time. So if this Tristana doesn't get a massive lead again, it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be difficult for them if they draft similarly. So yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
sure if you.
I did see what you were talking about
Mhm.
there with the Set. The thing about Set is he's a very disruptive champion with his ult. So
Yeah.
even when Carp's got this nice front to back thing going on,
Mhm.
it's a little bit difficult because their frontliners can be ulted back into their team, and then Set is in the middle of things, and that's exactly where he wants to be to get
Yeah.
these big haymakers off. I think that Tristana got a really heavy prio early with that lead. I think that Carp's jungler had to play around either side lane, maybe get a four-man dive going bot. But
Yeah.
we are going to get into the draft and see if we have any changes on either side this time.
Yeah. I think we're seeing the. So it's Noah on the blue side. So it's gonna be back to the first game. We're seeing the Aurelion Sol Vayne, and I assume that's gonna be a Twitch last ban. And on this side it was Syndra, Aatrox, um and it was it's either the Vi or the Kindred band away. I'm not sure really what champion they want to take away from them. It's the Maokai
Take
this
away
time.
that
Can't want to
Maokai. Yeah,
take
that
away.
was a
Yeah,
big problem for
it
them.
was it was the big champion, that big jungler there,
Lock it in.
Nefaria.
Lock it in.
I actually, to be fair, I really are people allowed to lock in Nefaria? I assume they are, but I don't see why they wouldn't be. But just
Maybe not.
yeah, they are. Yeah,
Yeah,
all
but
right.
I don't think we're going to see it as a first pick for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Nefaria. I don't think she is the best champion either mid lane or
Well,
jungle, but that is going to be Seraphine picked up third game in a row. They are
repeat of
going to
round one so far.
of first pick Seraphine. I'm not sure. I've still got this first draft up. It was the Rakan and the Aurelion Soul. So maybe they're gonna want to pick a safer scaling mid lane here. That was maybe a bit of a problem. Oh, Hecarim picked up
Oh,
early in the
that's
rotation.
new.
Yeah,
Okay.
we did see it banned away. Maybe it's something that the jungler of Carp someone enjoys, but the Hecarim picked up has the ability to take over these games and carry more from the jungle because I feel like um in the last game with the Nico, it felt a bit like they were lacking without scaling. She's very early, very aggressive, very team fight changing champion in these early scraps, as you said in the mid game. And it's going to be the Misfortune picked up again. Not too sure I like this. This is leaving the Zaya open as well. But as you said, they stick with what was working, and this is what they used to win their last game. So I'm not sure what jungler they're going to pick up to counter the Hecarim now. Maokai has been banned away, or whether they're just going to pick themselves up mid lane or top lane, which I doubt it. I think it's going to be the jungle picked up here.
You want to try running that Nautilus back, or just want to
Maybe
try something new?
Ooh,
Mordecai. Okay.
Mordekaiser.
You don't want to deal with the Hecarim? Send them to a different
Uh-huh.
realm. That sounds like a strategy.
Yeah. And just let me check here. Um,
Hope they ban Olaf then, or see if the top laner plays Olaf, because that would not be fun for the Mordekaiser.
yeah, I mean it's either Olaf or Gangplank, but it is Noir with generally the seen as the stronger top laner, I believe, Sonic the Rock there. So it's going to be the Aphelios picked up. It's going to be the Aphelios for
Okay.
Lane instead of leaning towards that Zaya. We obviously saw it had that massive impact in the first game, and you can see now they picked up some AP. They maybe were looking towards this Tristana on 4-5 there on blue side. So yeah, just going to ban the Tristana away. It was definitely a comfortable one for the mid laner of Noir there.
Yeah, take them off the comfort that you know they were performing well
Yeah,
on.
and I would love to see like a Olaf ban here or a Gangplank ban, but maybe they're saying that Olaf and Gangplank are generally quite high school champions to carry through these games, and maybe they're saying that we think there's just going to be such a skill gap in top lane that you can have the counter pick, and we don't mind, so we're just going to take away some of the picks we prefer in the mid lane. Oh, Carp are thinking maybe it's a Mordekaiser jungle as well, which could be an option. We have seen it less and less with the nerf of Demonic Embrace, but yeah, it could definitely be an option. A lot of the Mordekaiser counter picks are still up, but they're saying we don't really think you play them, so we're not gonna bother banning them away.
Well, let's see what they pick here. I mean, I assume they're going to pick the counter pick here and save the mid for last. They have taken away 3 of the champions that they know played in the last round, going, you know what, fine, we can beat that. Let's just get out, see what else you have.
Yeah. Um, Harp. They're gonna be picking up Lissandra there. That's back to their bread and butter. What they picked up in the first game, I believe.
No, that was Noah
was
that
it?
picked up in the first game.
Was it Noah
Yeah.
that picked it up in the first game?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so they're just saying maybe it's a bit of anything you can do, I can do better, is what they're trying to say. As I think this Lissandra does pair quite well with the Hecarim. They both have the ability to go. Lissandra can keep herself safe on these dives. So it's a lot of what they were trying to do again, but it's with the stronger bot matchup. And there's the Orianna, there's the scaling. And now I would want to see a strong AD bruiser jungler, something like the Wukong, like the Viego maybe picked up around here. Because if they don't, then they're playing what's like what I would see as a like a single AD threat, and even then it's the misfortune, and she kind of stands still and is unreliable. So you want to see something that can bruise, and it is going to be the Mordekaiser jungle, and the Darius is going to be going towards the top lane.
Okay.
So now it's curious to see what they want to do to counter this Darius. We have obviously Darius is a champion that can absolutely run over the games if disrespected in the early levels and get kills towards it. Oh,
yeah, Darius is my go-to Baron in solo queue. I hate facing versus him. I usually just default to Nav.
Oh, that's the Olaf
It still
picked up
goes
anyway.
without Olaf.
I mean,
Interesting. Okay.
This is. I'm not sure how the matchup is into Darius, but this is still a very good Olaf game, right?
Olaf definitely loses pre-6, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If you don't fall behind early, you can definitely match the Darius. But I think Olaf is more just to counter all the other champions on the board. You know, don't want to get CC'd up by the Seraphine, run at that misfortune. Mordekaiser, you can't do anything to me. It's not much of a lane counter. It's just I counter your team.
Yeah, and if he picks up, they have yet again this very strong team fight comp that they had on red side in the first game. So, but this time with more of a supportive mid laner instead of a scaling one, and then they're moving some of that carry into the jungle in that Hecarim and into the top lane with that Olaf. So, yeah, I think it's a similar draft to what they were doing in the first time, but on the reply on the side, we said some of the problems with the draft than Noah in that first time was they had one carry that fell behind, and then they couldn't really do much in the rest of the game. Now they do have multiple carries. They have this Darius, they have this Orianna, they have this Misfortune. They have all three of them that have the ability to fight, and they have the ability to carry in these games if they get the right situation and get ahead. So they do have a bit of firepower to come with. But I'm really not too sure how Mordekaiser performs in the jungle, whether he's just going to get out tempoed, out cleared, and Hecarim is just going to have that much more of an impact on the map, where it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I do like the draft on the side of Carp, and they have shown an ability to pilot a draft which looks similar to this with the exact same bot line. So yeah, I think maybe Carp would have it, but I do really like how they have got more pressure in the mid lane. On the side of Noir, they have more of a carry threat in the top lane compared to the Garen. But they still have gone towards this bot lane, this MF Seraphine, which honestly I don't think we really saw shine too much. It kind of got bullied. But it did perform somewhat in the later game, so if they can do something similar to that, they can start to win these team fights with these massive combinations there. So yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes.
They managed not to fall too far behind me. They survived a lot of pressure that was put their way, but now that Carp's ADC is back on their Phyllis, which we saw how they performed in game 1, it'll be interesting if they can keep that same level of performance. But really, my eyes are just on this top lane to see if the Darius can get snowballing. Because if he can't, then I'm very scared for team fights come for Noah. Because this Olaf should just run out.
Yeah,
over
the Olaf, the Olaf is like the wild card, right? If he stays equal, only slightly behind to this Darius, and has the ability to just run on top of this MF and Seraphine, there's not really a whole lot they can do to peel him away, even if this Darius gets fed. And this Darius, I don't think has the easiest time team fighting, as you were saying. Who is he really stacking on? Sorry, he can't really stack on a Hecarim, he can't really stack on anything else to get these big team fights off. And also the Lissandra and the Olaf can both match him in the side lane when they both get to 1.5, 2 items. So I think this Darius is maybe slightly misplaced in this game. But yet again, if this Darius does get the lead and starts to take over the game, he can do great things. So Yeah, I'd be curious to see how it goes. Any closing thoughts until we go off to a break?
I think it's just interesting that the past few games we seem to have high gankable jungles that want to go to their lanes, but now we have Mordekaiser Hecarim, which are known to be sort of wave clear, get to 6 type champions. So it'll be interesting if they still try to impact the lanes heavily, or they're more just, you know what, let's farm our jungles and then try to get past that point.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how it goes. We'll see it in about 3 minutes after the spectator delay, as we are about to go into a break. Welcome back to the Rift. Welcome back to the Rift for Game 3 as Darius is going to be spotted on the top side invade.
This really is a repeat of Game 1, except it's on the opposite side now.
Yep, Sonic the Rock is going to have his flash forced out now, which is
That's
going to make
actually-
this a bit harder. What were you going to say, sorry?
It's actually good because Olaf also forgo his flash, because you usually see Olaf's going flash ghost, but no, he went ghost TP, so instead now it's just even footing with 2 ghosts,
Yeah,
which
2
is pretty good
ghosts.
for the Olaf.
Yeah, and Olaf is going to have the TB advantage in this lane as you were hinting towards as well. It's going to be the Mordekaiser here is going to be pathing towards this top lane. I think that's what you want to see. You want to make sure this Darius gets guaranteed lead there, as it's going to be this Hecarim starting on its Raptors, going to be full clearing down, trying to get as ahead as possible. It's going to be it's cold start again on the Aphelios here. Looking to do a similar scaling to first one, but it's going to be the Orianna here. It's going to be the on this side of Noah doing the Lost Chapter tech there on the Orianna, getting that Lost Chapter as early as possible with the Futures Market. There's going to be a ward on the blue buff of Noah, so Olaf is going to have knowledge that Mordekaiser is not there yet, and that is most likely going to be pathing up. But then there is a ward here on the wolves, so Hecarim is going to be spotted just now as he is over to the wolves. So both teams have relative knowledge of where the junglers are. Top lane is going to be pushing away from Olaf. Darius is just going to be able to pick up these creeps. No problem, it's just trading in the mid lane. This 100 goes in.
I don't expect anything too major to happen in the mid lane. Might just
Nope.
get some little pokes in there, but no solo kills I expect. This top lane is the one I'm a bit concerned or watching out for if I'm looking for a solo kill to happen. With Olaf being near push under the tower and Mordekaiser is near up there. With no flash, he might be able to actually make something happen.
Yeah, Lissandra, we haven't really mentioned it too much, but she did get quite massive buffs in the recent patch actually. With an increase
There's
in
the
the
ghost pulled out.
damage on the Q.
I've been waiting for Mordekaiser, just trying to go in alone, but if it's just ghost versus ghost, Olaf will be able to just run out. And again,
Olaf
both
is gonna
junglers just doing a full clear,
base
and I don't think anything else is going to
Aphelios is
happen.
trading.
Hecarim might look on the Orianna here as Lissandra stuns her up, gets flashed, tried to flash away, but Hecarim is just right there, and well, so much for not much happening mid lane. That's first blood going to Carp.
Yeah, that's really well played. They're just spotting the opportunity, and even managing to burn the flash there.
Hecarim trying to punish the Hecarim, but he only has Ghost as well, no flash, and Hecarim has a lot of movement speed, so manages to get out. Sticking around though. He trying to catch the Hecarim out? No, he's showing on vision. Hecarim sees him and is just able to escape. Nice and clean.
I just believe I've disconnected. This is technical difficulty central here, apparently.
I hear you now.
Yeah, I think we're all good.
You missed some exciting CSing.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, it was top-notch stuff. As Olaf are now going directly in on the Darius, but Darius has the thing stacked up and just manages to bludgeon him to death.
just disrespecting the stacks there. That's
Came back in time for a solo kill.
Olaf has the Darius has, sorry, and yeah, Olaf just can't take that trade. That's why I was saying that there was a that Olaf just had a bit of an issue in this lane. If Darius manages to get those stacks up, he'll be completely fine there to find that solo kill.
Olaf engaged well. I think he already had 3 stacks on him, so very easy for Darius to just get the last 2 on and just the easy solo kill at that point. Akra, okay, managed to get out. No ult from the Orianna.
Yeah, just saving that. Both these mid laners are just gonna shove into each other. There's a small CS lead on the side of the Orianna, and there's also a lead in the bot lane going to the sides of Carp, and we've come to expect there's trading coming on here. Ghost pop from the Mordekaiser.
He knows that Olaf doesn't have an ult, but is not able to get in range. As Orianna very low in the mid lane, but so are her 2 opponents.
Very low health bars. No mana there is going to be the primary cause of survival there for the Orianna. No mana on the Lissandra, has no ability to stick on top of her. Hecarim could have traded 1-1, and I don't think it would have been too bad. As
Ghost from the Olaf manages to dodge it, but it gets flashed on, and it gets his ult back up though, so he can escape the Darius pull. And I mean, he's getting bullied in this top lane, but at least he got away that time.
yeah, it's just good ultimate allowed him to run away. There's going to be flash for R there for the Darius. Not quite sure that's worth, but yeah, there is starting to be a big gold lead come forward on the side of Darius, being about 700 gold up there.
You see the old lanes are actually ahead, barring the mid lane.
Darius
So
just
CS lead.
He's dead.
Just straight up solo kills. Hecarim goes in, but he has the 5 stacks. So he has the ult refresh too, and just an easy double kill.
That was not the smartest, but yeah, you can see what he was going for. But just
it's Lissandra's turn.
No, I believe Darius is not going to have an instant 5
Darius
stacks.
gets the play.
All right.
Lissandra does good cutting. I think she will pick up the kill. Oh, that was a little cheeky.
Yeah,
Does pick it up though.
Just to stop dodge. Mordekaiser's going to walk into the bot lane here. I think Aphelos is going to be perfectly fine.
Oh, but the manages to ult out. No death realm from the Mordekaiser. Didn't think he would need it, but just got charmed up and was not able to. Well, underestimated the Rakan's movability. What? What's the word?
Mobility.
Mobility is the word. Nobility. I speak good English.
Yeah. And now that's two kills there picked up on the Lissandra, negating the leader being a bit ahead. But it is just going to be this pushing the mid lane means there's not going to be a lot of threat on this dragon.
Oh, they're lucky to go in though. Dragon is secured, but MF ult is going wide against everyone. They are going to try to finish off Lissandra as she flashes out. Rakan tries to peel her as best she can, goes into the death realm as Hecarim finishes off the Seraphine at the end. Mordekaiser manages to take out Lissandra as the huge shockwave comes out to take out the Rakan. Tries to get damage onto the Mordekaiser, just barely is with enough health. That's a jungler scrape away as a dragon goes to Corp, but the fight goes to end no R.
No, the fight ended. Dragon went to Noah, didn't what?
Oh yes, the dragon went to Noah as well. That was huge for Noah then. They win everything.
Yeah, they did indeed. The Fetting Assault missing there, everything just going slightly wide. Didn't really manage to get that true scaling. The Mordekaiser Death Realm managed to get him away from the Calibrum turret there. I managed to get the AP on the Mordekaiser. It's going to allow him to clear these camps just a bit faster. As Darius is spam pinging, just doing this Herald solo. As yeah, the leads garnered in lane are feeling quite massive now for the side of Noah. There's still going to be this big lead on the Aphelios there in the bot lane with this CS lead with this Cole picked up as well. But on the top of the mid lane, there's going to be massive leads. This Orianna, this scaling, just getting her first item, Shrinebreaker already picked up as well on the side of Darius. And now on the side of Carp, they really have to consider how they get this and how they want to start taking these team fights and how they plan on getting this Aphelios into the positions he needs to start to carry this games. It's Herald crashing, just going to be 350 gold up pocketed there for Mordekaiser. Should be his first item picked up there, I'd guess.
All that gold went onto the Darius.
Oh, was it onto the Darius? Sorry. Yes, sorry. But I just saw the Herald and assumed it was the jungler.
Flash from the Khan, getting onto that misfortune. This Landra coming in. Seraphine manages to stall a little bit as she's going to defend her ADC and trade her life. And Sandra's just walking into the tower, trying to get the ult off, not able to heal herself with her own ultimate to survive. But there's 2 more members of Noah coming down, but Mandas finishes her anyway. And now Aphelios and Makana have to try to peel from this Mordekaiser and Orianna. As Death Route, huge shockwaves connects on both of them as they do manage to take the Mordekaiser out. Now Olaf is here, get onto that MF. She's not going anywhere as Hecam also comes in. Everyone's joining the fight. And I guess that's an end win for Cop, but that was
that's going to be
weird.
2 for 3. Hecam's going to start pushing on his turret. Olaf is going to base, but that's going to be the full turret going over to the Darius. Yep, there it is. First turret of the game. Yeah, this Darius is very, very, very fed. And we said it. This Darius might have a hard time team fighting unless he gets really good. But now he has this stride breaker and he has such a lead, and he's now open on the map to do what he wants.
2.5k above the Olaf. That's not what you want to see. I mean, Olaf cannot 1v1 him at any point anytime soon.
And yeah, Olaf is going towards what I believe is the what's it called? Ravenous Hydra is going to be the normal item pickup for him there, which I think. See, I still think, like, in the team fight, this Olaf, no matter how far like behind he gets in lane, he's still gonna be prevalent. He's still gonna be able to get on this Orianna, Seraphine, Misfortune. There's not gonna be a lot they can do to stop him. So, yeah, it's just curious.
If he goes Glass Cannon, I think he's going to get blown up before he can actually get to the MF. So I would have preferred a Radiant Virtue first item here for him, managing to allow him to actually get onto the carry.
Well, I think the team fights where he's going to be there aren't going to be happening for another 10 minutes, which maybe probably gives him time to pick up the item. It's going to be around these Barons and these second, third Dragons. The Dragon stacking happened quite late. It's going to be a minute until the next one. So, yeah, it's going to be around 20 minutes when it's this third dragon, which is often seen as the first quite important dragon, is gonna be picked up. But yeah, now they're gonna keep extending this bot lead. They're gonna keep getting this shove in. So I would imagine the dragon is gonna go over to the side of Carp, and it's just gonna be 1-1 there. They need to delay and they need to allow this Aphelios and this Olaf to get onto their items, this Hecarim to get onto their items. They need to delay, they need to pick up this dragon and just avoid fights wherever possible.
Aphelios, if they do try to get combat this, Aphelios does not have his mythic, while Misfortune does have her Yomos completed. It's also worth noting that Lysandra did go Luden's Echo instead of the normal Everfrost, so she's going to be a lot more damage oriented instead of trying to peel for her Aphelios, so instead flashes onto the Seraphine. Seraphine does manage to get it off though, and that's a huge combo with the Shockwave going into the MF, and wow, that's just complete annihilation. Trying to get on pick on the Seraphine, Seraphine's you're getting picked on, and that's going to be 3 kills and the dragon going over to Noah.
The Lysandra just thought she could walk in. They thought the Seraphine was isolated, but they had no information about the Darius walking down, I don't believe, which allowed them to massively turn the fight. It was unfortunate that Seraphine managed to get the ult off. Really well played by her, keeping everyone in one place. The Darius came out afterwards. The Misfortune came from over the wall, and the Shockwave on top of it. This is just really showing what this comp can do, as I'm not sure you win this, Olaf. But,
yeah, that Olaf is not going to win that. He's almost a 4 item down, and with Orianna there, Darius doesn't need an ult. Just goes, yep, thanks for the kill. Your Glass Cannon, don't have any tank stats, just a Ravenous. I'll just take it.
Yeah, it's just gonna be chopped through that. Orianna gonna come help out and assistance, grab that kill, grab the kill assist as well. Yeah, and as we said, they need to try delay and wait for their scaling to come online. They have taken multiple fights and lost them both, so I don't think that's the best approach. I don't think that's really how they want to be playing out this game. Now we do see the Lysandra and Olaf moving into the side lane, Aphelios moving into the mid lane, playing this 1-3-1 style to try Scout trade, get these items on the board here. As they might think that Oriana is isolated in the mid lane. Misses though.
No. If the damage she just trades onto the Fearless goes, you want to try to gank me? Nah, let me just trade the damage back. Not getting on me.
Yeah, and I think this is the difference really between the draft in game 1 and the draft in game 2. They really have this mid laner that has the ability to trade Valak and go blow for blow instead of just being the engaged tool that the Lissandra was here. So I think this Oriana is really showing her impact already on top of the MF and the Seraphine really impacting these fights more than the Xayah did.
Oh, Mordekaiser looking to just steal this. I mean, no one's helping. Khan W goes in, but Hecarim just decides to leave, and that just gives the free Rift Hold over to the Noah. I mean, okay. Now they're going to try to chase down Ghost popped by Mordekaiser, but I think they're already too far gone. Philios is tickling him. Where's the damage? Not there yet. As I think they're just going to place this Rift Hold down and force the turret. And Felix is just stealing the red buff while this is happening.
Yeah, they're just getting choked out from all angles, really. It's just going to be like, they didn't feel like they had the ability to just straight out take a brawl, which they probably don't, so they had to give it up. They tried to find a pickup onto the Oriana, and...
Well, now Hecarim's trying to go in, but instead gets Death Realmed out of the Shockwave. That kind of helped a little bit, but now he's just going to get soloed down here unless he can survive the initial onslaught, but is not able to, manages to get taken down just as the Death Realm expires. Mordekaiser heals up a little bit to save him a little. Rakan tries to kite around, but instead, Seraphine's getting 1v1 by an Olaf in the bot lane, even with Misfortune around. So 1-for-1 at the end of the day?
Yeah, I guess, but it's going to be the mid-tier one as well, picked up there. But this is showing, I mean, we did miss it on the direct to camera, but this is showing what Olaf can do. He can just simply run in and kill these backline. There's not really a lot they can do to shoot through him there. Especially.
What's the benefit of the Olaf pick? You have MF and Seraphine? Okay, Olaf will just run through it. That was the purpose of the pick. It wasn't for the Darius.
No, but now this Olaf is getting 3-3 and it's only 20 gold behind. There is going to still be the turret advantage, but it's going to be starting to work towards that second item rather quickly here. About 600 gold.
4,000 gold down.
Oh wait, yeah, the gold lead is massive. But when Olaf does get onto that second item, get that what we would imagine to be Radiant Birch.
Philio is forced to flash and ghost away because Darius is just walking, and Rakan's like, "Bye, friend, I will try to save you," and goes down twice.
Yeah, Philios manages to guess away there. That's just going to be another kill in the pocket of Darius there.
Oh, maybe the Darius is on retake now? No. Philios secures the chicken camp. Lissandra's like, maybe, but no. Darius has 2 full items and a phage. They're not going to be able to do too much to him with his team heavily nearby.
Yeah, there's going to be pings coming out toward the Chemtech ring there for the blue side. I don't really think there's much that the side of Carp can do to contest this dragon. Maybe if Aphelios has just a godly fight, but its MF's items are cheaper than the Aphelios' by quite a margin, so it's going to be going to be on these item spikes quick. Also has the kill god there, even though they're about parity in terms of gold there. Gonna have that
it's a Chemtech dragon too.
Not quite that Gale Force. It's going to be picked up. Chemtech Dragon, often quite good for the Seraphine the Oriana there, although it is generally seen as one of the worst souls in the game to roll. As maybe
I can see why, but in this case, I think Chemtech's a really good source. Instead of Hecarim's like, I can't get the dragon, I'm going to try to get the Oriana. Trade ults, both miss. Walks away, but the dragon is secured. And now on soul point again for Noah.
Yeah, Noah are looking towards this soul point now, and this game is really looking to get out of hand. This Aphelios scaling needs to come online, and it needs to come online within the next 5 minutes to deny this soul. No one's really looking towards the Baron. Objective bounties are up on the side of Carp there. There's I think this Hecarim has not really had the impact it's wanted to have in this game. He's been trying to look and trying to find these angles, but they've not really been paying off. He's not really started to snowball this game in the way he wanted with this lethality build, but he still can come up huge in team fights. It's just When you pick this Hecarim, ooh, as
Uh-oh.
Lissandra is in a bit of trouble.
Won't be able to run away. Yeah, just oh, okay. But I mean,
Uh,
don't take the claw, I guess. But you're just kind of running to the enemy team. You're not going to get out that way either. I guess if you kite enough, maybe. Darius doesn't have much MR, but that's a huge amount of damage, and I think that's enough Lissandra for this world. Can flash as well. I guess she's. I don't know if she's trying to run or fight, but instead there's a fight that's going to break her in the mid lane. Hecarim just explodes. Nothing there. Darius finally managed to finish off the Lissandra as Rakan's diving underneath the tower. Huge Eterfi not coming down, but Olaf is just running at them with the CC immunity. Does go down anyway. Too much damage. Aphelios decides to clean up the fight. And Oriana is here trying to pick up the Rakan as the last remnant, but he manages to get away. And split fight across the map, but 4 kills going over to no R as opposed to just 2 for Carp.
Yeah, Aphelios is gonna finally have that that Gale Force picked up there, and he's gonna make instant impact to the fight, managing to like salvage the fight into a 3-for-4. But it's gonna be Darius picking up the Lissandra in the top lane as the fight isolation in the mid lane was a 3-for-3, with just a couple people surviving on each side. Yeah, and they did kind of disrespect the red-white, which made that an even trade in the mid lane. But this Oriana is going to be able to push up, take this turret. That's an extra 550 gold into her pocket as well. She's on her second item. She's really, really strong with that Seraph's Embrace fully upgraded. And the Luden's Tempest picked up here. There's 3 items on this Darius. He's just insanely far ahead. They need to team fight perfectly to shut him down. As
Not even close.
Haze check into him. Yeah, this is just going to be them looking towards the Baron. There's not really a lot they can do. Hecarim is on his walls right now, as this
Hecarim doesn't even have smite
Baron
up
has
right
started. Yep.
It's just going to be Mordecai as it takes this really fast. You have a third Darius. I mean, this Darius is probably going to pick up his 4th item. Olaf doesn't even have his mythic yet.
Yeah, Oriana is just going to try their best to keep him out.
I like this Olaf pick versus the team, but it has not worked out versus this Darius.
No, he's it was disrespecting it in the top lane, just dying solo, and that's just allowed its Darius to move across the map and impact all the side lanes. It was that big scrap with the Seraphine when Lissandra went a bit too far as well, which Darius was there to impact. And yeah, it's just been playing really successfully, being where he needs to be. So it's been really well played from this Darius, and this Olaf has not had the impact we wanted it to in team fights. But although there is about an 8.5k gold lead on the side of Noir here, it is not all over. This Aphelios is still an Aphelios. 2.5 items, 950 gold away from that LDR here in this team fight. And if they do team fight perfectly, they manage to keep this Darius off the backline, don't allow him to not stack up, and this Rakan manages to get onto the MF. This Aphelios can still be huge in fights and will be if given the opportunity. We've seen this AD carry's proficiency on this Aphelios pick. We've seen them able to carry a game from ahead. Now they are having to try carry the game from a position where they're behind. So it's just going to be curious to see how they play this. I think this Ludens was a bit of a misstep from the Sandra. She needed more. I would imagine she needed the Everfrost to help heal for the.
I can see why she has the Ludens as being the sole magic damage dealer. It's like, they can't build full armor because then I'll blew them up. But yeah, I mean, at this point, you just need to peel the Aphelios, and you have literally no frontline. Like, you have a Duskblade Hecarim and an Olaf who can just be ignored. So who's protecting this Aphelios now? Rakan that can also just get one-shots at this point. So it's the Aphelios show. He's the only one that can carry, but who's going to help him facilitate that?
I mean, I see also, because the with the Lissandra buffs as well, it buffs some of her ratios and some of her base damage. So looking towards the Luden, she actually does have some more damage than she used to, especially. But I just don't think it was quite possibly the right pick in this game. That's going to be the Chemtech Soul over.
Stolen by Seraphine.
Oh wait, you tricked me. Sorry, it's like 4 AM right now, so it's a tad bit tired, but we're moving on. Darius is just continuing to split up this top wave. There's not really anyone that can fight him. I'm not even sure if you send 3-4 people up there, they can fight him. He's just got such a massive lead.
Darius can just kill him under the tower at this point. But I mean, okay, there's 3 people. Lissandra didn't take the claw. Wasn't able to CC him up. W'd way back where she was. Finally managed to ult him, but they just kind of peeled off at that point, and
He's half HP.
that was not well played. And like I said, I mean, Camcheck Dragon is, yes, not the most well-liked soul, but hey, you go below half health, it's all of a sudden a lot harder to kill you, so helping him out there as well.
As they're just gonna use the pressure Darius has created, shoving these waves by hitting the dragon. As Darius is gonna be picking some of these objectives that are up. Just gonna keep these waves pushed, keep scaling, keep basing. And the LDR is picked up there for the Aphelios with the lead he's garnered. He has about a 1,000 gold lead over his lane opponent. But
Whoa, wait, what? Hecarim just sold his Dustblade? Or was that a mistake?
Oh,
he sold it for
Radiant.
Yeah, and changing his boots. He's just like, I can't do anything. I'm just going full tanky now. That's something you don't usually see.
It's not, but to be honest, I kind of respect it. I definitely see where he's coming from. We were talking about how there's little to no appeal for this Aphelios. There's nothing to keep him alive. And although I still think Radiant Virtue Hecarim will get one shot by the Darius, and I'm not sure how much the healing will help, it will be something. And they need to try anything. And the Duskblade was just going to be completely useless in this fight. There was never really any chance of getting on this MF with this Darius Mordekaiser here. So yeah, I think it's definitely interesting, and it's I'd like to see how it goes.
It's an interesting one of what would be more valuable, having a Dustblade Hecarim diving their backline, or a Radiant Virtue trying to peel his Aphelios?
Yeah. We will have to see how these fights play out, I guess. As the MF is gonna be halfway towards her Bloodthirster there. It's still, yeah, it's just a bit behind. But this topside jungle, there's really nothing Hecarim can do. Can't really farm, and as we see, it's just like 20 CS behind here. So it's just gonna be, it's really hard for oh, sorry, is the engaging?
Darius actually getting caught out here. Gets CC'd, and Gale forced in to pick up the kill. That's a huge shutdown for the Aphelios. That's the person you need it on. All of a sudden, he has 2,000 more gold that he can use to buy, and that gives Carp actually a pretty good chance of being able to survive if they get picks like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be starting to close back this gold lead. It's still around some 9,000 there towards the side of the wall.
Darius doesn't have TP, and Baron's up in 30 seconds, so they might try to force it.
Yeah, and with this red, white, and Aphelios, they definitely have the ability to. And I was just about to mention how there's no mobility on the map for Carp here, but they now have the ability to, with that Darius pick, Noah just lose all their pressure. They have the ability to go through, sweep their jungle, get vision down, and be a lot safer pushing out these waves with this Darius dead and with no pressure, and then it does allow them to go walk towards this Baron, as there's going to be pings from the blue side as Darius respawns.
No Baron force, maybe probably the right call. They might still have troubles doing a 4v5. I'm definitely concerned that Lissandra still has not completed her second item at this point, but Noah decided to start up the Baron, and Hecarim's out bot side. I don't think there's going to be really any contention. They might even not know they're doing it. Now they know, but Miracle Steal? No. Just a Baron going over.
Yeah, and it's going to be the trader for the bot tier 2. That's 350 gold bounty spread across the team. Not quite worth it for the Baron with the 1,500 gold and the obviously the Baron buff there. But it's something in return. As Darius is going to be right back on his way, splitting in this top wave. We've seen some pings for the Elder Dragon from the Hecarim come out. They realised that this is their only way back into the game. This is often seen where if it's generally one of the lesser souls, sometimes teams will give up the dragons to try flip for the Elder Soul, but it's going to be really difficult for them to even try walk in to this Darius to get this Elder Dragon, so they have to find a way to get in there first before they find a way for Aphelios to win this fight. And you were mentioning the Lissandra's items there. She did what the Ornn was doing last game, and she had 3 components for 3 different items in the Oblivion of the Alternator and the Seeker's Arm Guard there, so...
Well, it does finish the Zonies, that's probably the most important item.
She has picked it up there. But I don't know why the Alternator. Maybe she was
I mean, she's still looking to do damage?
towards
Oh,
the
Rakan's going in
yeah,
on the Orianna. He's not able to catch it. Orianna's too fast. Oh no.
uh,
That's a really important cooldown you now don't have.
yeah, the quickness not up for this Elder Dragon, which is spawning in 15 seconds. As Darius is gonna base pick up what is gonna be the GA there. Yep, Darius has gone full
Oh,
build.
full
Um,
build at
moving
31
towards
minutes.
this. And as we look into the bot side jungle of the side of Hawk, it is a slew of blue. They're just going to be melting down this Elder Dragon, and there's going to be real no contention. Hecarim's going to be running forwards as Oriana's TPing in. They have to go for a miracle still. They can't just give this up, can they?
It looks like that is what they're going to do. Maybe they're thinking if we can just hold our Nexus turrets at the very least, we can try to get some gold because they know they cannot take a 5v5. So,
Yeah, I was thinking Hecarim was going to go try find a steal up, but I feel like if you give up this Elder Dragon, there's not a lot you can do even with how fed your Aphelios is. I mean, he will still be very big in this game.
I'd actually argue that Aphelios going for GA is also the wrong play. I mean,
Yeah,
assuming you do get popped, you're just going to get annihilated once you come out of the GA anyway.
yeah, I think him going towards the GA, it's like if he dies once, the game is lost anyway. You might as well.
Yeah, and I mean, and this is the problem: is that now you're giving up all 3 lanes, and
Yeah.
you're just going to lose all 3 inhibs. If you're going to let them get Elder, you have to 5 men on one side of the map, so at least you can stop that side from the map going down. But now we just have all sides going down,
Yeah,
and they're not going to be able to hold the turrets.
this is going to be what's looking like the final stand. Aphelios is going to go back into his wave. He's picked up the BT. He just had to stop what's there. In
Oh, good. Okay, that's a good buy.
Yeah, and they're now looking to try and march forward towards the end.
Garen has run out though.
4 items.
Does manage to
Garen's
get
run
the
out.
white gun out, get rid of that purple gun. That's some good crit damage getting spread AoE wise, but it seems that Noah seems to be a little bit hesitant trying to force their way into these Nexus turrets. Rakan does manage to go in, trying to force it. Hector now follows, managing to survive so far. The Death Realm does come out, bring them out, but it's Noah that is trying to annihilate these health bars as Aphelios goes into the back lane, trying to catch them out. Does take one down, but goes down himself as Pop is just getting annihilated. Too far ahead. Chemtech Soul and Elder too much to overcome. As now it's just the Olaf staring down the enemy, saying, "No, please, I was supposed to counter your team." And the team's like, "No, you're going down. We do have our art buttons. They do work." And they aren't going to take him down, but they will take the game and the match.
Yeah, that's going to be game 3 going towards Noah there. After a rough first game, they managed to claw it back in the second two. Looked like an even more dominant game in the third than the second. Yeah, so I think that's just really well played there. This Darius is going to be the star of the show in that game, just getting that solo kill on the top lane and then managed to snowball and snowball and snowball that lead. It's what we wanted to see from this top laner throughout the whole game, but they didn't. We didn't quite see them manage to do that. But yeah, in that final game, they really came alive. It felt. Any thoughts, Willie?
Yeah, pretty similar to the second game. A lot more of a slow burn. They got a lot of objectives going for them. They got the Baron, but that top lane, that difference in gold and just the amount of pressure he started to put on the map after getting some kills, just leading them to a pretty nice clean victory. I know we've got that. That graphic on the stream. Can we pull up like that damage graphic up on the screen? I want to see that. Because Darius was putting in a whole bunch of work that game, getting his team that win. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty tired today. If we're getting an interview, let's get it. Let's get somebody in here and get it over with. But yeah, I mean, actually, their marksman that game actually dealt less damage than the Aphelios on the red side. So,
Yeah.
big, heavy top side play there. They were almost able to make it a kind of a last stand, but I feel that Rakan didn't get the charm off on too many people. Did he only charm one person there? I feel
Yeah, I
that,
believe he only charmed. I think it was
yeah.
like the Seraphine or something in the back
I think it
line.
was the Mordekaiser, yeah.
Or the Mordekaiser even.
I feel that maybe if they're able to execute a little bit better, um, we are getting an interview. Okay, let's get someone in here. Let's get Tark. Tark is their mid laner. We got the mid laner in here. Drag him in here. I'll drag him in here. Okay, here we go. We've got Tark. We've got the mid laner. You guys have to think of some questions. I'm so
Yeah.
exhausted right now.
Oh, I have a
Tark.
good first question.
Oh,
Yes, you
for
go
it.
first.
Is Taki there?
Yeah.
Yeah. My main question is after that first game, which was, very one-sided. How did you then decide? Okay, that first game didn't work out quite as we wanted. What was your mentor and preparation going into the second game, and how you wanted to change things around?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of frustration at the end of that one. When we looked back at what had happened, we uh, sort of saw just the entire team collapsing without us able to do anything. Giving their mid laner the ASOL allowed them to play really defensively uh, and still scale up and be effective. So when uh, we took that out of their options and forced their mid laner and their jungle to answer to the pressure that I could put out in games 2 and 3. And when we put our jungler onto something that wasn't a Nautilus because that champ sucks in the jungle and I don't know what we were thinking, we were able to make much more happen and didn't just keel over and die.
Yeah, I really like how you switched up the draft there. It was a good rotation. I my favorite thing that you did is you went from Lissandra, which is sort of a little bit more of a utility kind of champ. You built the Everfrost, right? I like that you started picking the carries. We really saw a lot more out of you when you were on those heavy hitting carries. So I was pretty happy to see that in games 2 and 3, even if your top laner did sort of steal the show in that game 3. Are you planning to pick more of those heavy damage outputting carries as you advance in the series?
Um, I mean, I will generally pick whatever is best for the team. Typically, what's comfortable for me is something that can put out a ton of damage, but also has some utility. Sometimes my place is deleting towers, and sometimes my place is deleting teams. It just depends on the situation.
That's what I
Good
like to
stuff.
hear.
We always like a team player. That's good stuff. That's a good attitude.
I'm not sure if you've looked, but the matchup after this is against the team abbreviated to whale emoji. So have you looked at anything? Are you excited about your matchup against them?
Honestly, I'm just excited to make the next round. I think we'll
Yeah.
have to do all our scouting across the next week now that we know who we're against.
Uh-huh.
But I certainly haven't seen anything from them yet, so I'm going into this a bit blind.
Fair enough. Yeah, so it's did you expect the Sandra to be a bit more prevalent? It's got definitely buffed on this patch and it lost almost every game it was in, and it was lost quite badly as well. So were you surprised by the champion and how it performed in the series, or?
I still think the champ is incredibly powerful. I
Mm.
think it was just picked into situations where it was bound to have a hard time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
in
I
game one
think
especially.
I think the Nautilus jungle was a mistake. I'm gonna agree with you there. Um,
Yeah,
I,
it
I
felt. Sorry, you.
I see like the idea behind it, like
Mhm.
the lockdown, but I also think that the Lissandra and Nautilus together, it's too much utility and not enough just straight damage. But that's just my opinion, and I haven't been playing too much lately, so I could be mistaken.
Yeah. I think unless anyone else has any other questions, I think Willie's quite tired, so I think we'll let him free.
I'm
Uh,
exhausted.
so we'll do so just a quicker interview today. Any last words, Talk?
Any last words? You make it sound like we're executing it, bro. Any
No,
shout outs?
any shout outs, anything you'd like to say to the
Any goodbyes?
to your fans?
Any goodbyes? I'm sorry, it's just as bad.
The R in no R stands for Chris in playoffs.
Yeah.
The hard hitting, straight to the heart.
Well,
Well, that
it'll be
okay.
good to
That
it'll be
was
good
fun.
to
Got
track
called
your
out.
journey. I hope we'll see you semi-finals, finals, beyond. I don't think there is a beyond, but yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Tark. Thank you. And
Thank you.
very well done. Very nice comeback. Very nice pullback. Nice, slow, controlled, objective focused games. Really good stuff. And we hope to see more of you, later in the tournament.
Thank
But
you.
that is going to wrap up the round one of the playoffs for Risen Draft Summer League, the Friday League. We're gonna wrap this stream up, and of course, I have been joined today by my play-by-play cinematic gaming and my colorcaster Zyduk. And we hope to see all y'all next week. It's going to be quarterfinals. There are 3 rounds left. Quarterfinals
Yep.
next week. So hope to see you all there. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.